Hi y'all. I feel bad for not making any content for a while, so I'm just gonna record during my play session. I honestly don't know if I'm gonna edit this down or anything. Um, I feel bad for not putting out any content, so, I'm alone. I'm just playing PlanetSide. And, well, I just figured I'd record, in case anything good comes up, or, unless I have something to say. Yeah, I do want to talk for a bit on some, channel stuff. Hi there, Dervish. Really? 2C4? Okay. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for not putting out any content for a while, and while I fully acknowledge that just recording my session is very lazy content, and I do have Spotify on in the background, so, whatever you hear is whatever you hear. I probably won't edit this down. But, I have nothing to make content on. And, well, not that I have nothing to make content on, I'm not motivated to make anything right now. Consider this a heart-to-heart, whatever. I'm not sure how long this recording's gonna end up being. It might be till I get bored, it might be until I have nothing more to say. I don't really know. But, it's my video. So, I'm struggling a lot with making content right now. There's not really any games that I have motivation to make content on. I've had a couple of videos that I've started or have, audio setups for, or even folders for footage set up for it, but I haven't been motivated. I found that, damn. I'm not motivated to make a lot of things right now. For example, there was a Terraria video slated to happen, that in fact I still even have some of the footage for, where I was going to try and beat the whole game on the hardest difficulty with only grenades. And, I started it, and then I had no motivation to play the game, and so that footage has been sitting there for 2 months now. And I could return to that whenever I want, but I've had no motivation to make it. I've had a couple potential War Thunder videos, planned even. I've had scripts worked out in my head. I haven't written any formal scripts or anything, but I generally have, I generally mentally write a script going into a video, even if it's not scripted. Where I've mentally written scripts for a couple War Thunder videos now. Wow, I'm dog shit. But I have no motivation to play. Or Barrow Trauma, it's I like Barrow, but it's hard to... Not only is it annoying sorting through footage for that game, it's hard knowing what people find entertaining. This is going to be a bitchy thing to say, and honestly I expect to get shit for it in some way. Not that anyone will probably comment, but I know this is a bitchy thing to say, but it's hard for me to keep having the will to make content for things other than PlanetSide when people don't watch or they don't really engage with it. Both the Barrow videos actually have surprisingly decent views for what they are, but they each have 1 or 2 comments each. And it's just hard in general to find passion to keep making them if a video doesn't do well. And I've kind of shoveled myself into a shitty spot because I'm kind of the PlanetSide person at this point. I'm well aware that my channel basically lives by me making PlanetSide content. I'm not monetized or anything, obviously. But if I don't make PlanetSide stuff, my videos generally don't do well. Ow. And that is nice, because it's if I make PlanetSide content, that content does well. I feel good making PlanetSide content, and I do enjoy PlanetSide. Fuck, I've played the game for fucking 2,600 hours. I've put a lot of time into PlanetSide. And I really do love the game. For as much as I constantly shit on it, I really do love PlanetSide. And I shit on it a lot because there's a lot that, I find frustrating about the game and that I wish was better. I want to see PlanetSide be the best game it can be. It's just... it's frustrating. It's easy to point out a lot of flaws in the game.
I am pleased.
But, back to what I was talking about. My channel kind of lives by PlanetSide content. If a video is PlanetSide related, whether it's gun review, or stuff like the Legacy Directive review, or Well, it performs well, and, you know, I get a lot of engagement, and I shoot the shit in the comments and whatever. But if it's not PlanetSide related, or if it's, like, something more me, if that makes sense, like, obviously some stuff just is more limited interest, but, you know, it feels like, if I don't make a weapon review, it feels like my content's not really worthwhile. Like, I like making content, but I feel like if it's not a weapon review, people just don't perceive my content as worthwhile. And you know what? That's totally fair. I don't edit anything down. I'm not particularly amusing. Will that orbital kill me? No. Okay. And that's just part of YouTube, obviously, and part of me just not being a very interesting person. But it does kind of make me feel like, you know, if I'm not making PlanetSide reviews, it's hard for me to feel like I'm actually doing anything making content. You know, I try and make content on what I enjoy, what I like doing, but, you know, it just doesn't perform well. And if I know a video is not going to do well going in, and again, this is a very shitty thing to say, saying that, you know, if it's not going to do well, I'm not going to make it. But it's mentally hard to make a video that you know you're just not going to... Fuck off. That you know you're just not going to get a great reaction to, or that people just won't care for. Because, you know, I like making content... I'm not feeling this song. You know, I like making content that people like. And it's hard to do that if I know people just aren't going to watch something. Like, I actually did kind of like making the War Thunder video. I don't really care for the game, but, you know, for what it was, for the context around it, I actually liked making that video, but, you know, people didn't really watch it. And obviously I'm not a War Thunder channel, I shouldn't expect that. But it's still rough, you know? I wouldn't know if any other content creators are watching this, but I'm sure anybody who's had the experience at least of making stuff can probably say they know what it feels like, you know, where if you know that people don't really want something, or they're not really... I'm trying to find the words. They're not really engaging with what you make, whether it's like art, or YouTube content, or streaming, or whatever. You know, whatever kind of content you make. You know that if people don't interact with it, or people don't really care for it, it's hard to do. It's hard to keep making it. It's just mentally tough, because, you know, it kind of feels pointless in a way. Obviously, self-gratification is what matters, mostly, but it's still a mental hurdle to, you know, look at something and say, you know, I liked what I did here, but nobody's going to watch this, or nobody's going to engage this, or whatever. And that's the spot I find myself in nowadays. It's really hard for me to mentally make anything else than PlanetSide just because it won't perform well. And I know I'm repeating myself, but it's my video. And, you know, there are a lot of factors for that. Obviously, I'm a very small content creator. I'm very lucky to have the audience that I do have, and this video is just going to come off as me bitching, which is unfortunate, but whatever. Ow, fucking sticky grenades, man. Friendly sticky grenade? Really? Okay. It's difficult. Sorry, I've kind of lost my train of thought. You can tell that I'm just not... This isn't, like, edited or anything. I'm literally just talking as I play about whatever enters my mind. Point being, it's hard for me to make content that's not PlanetSide because it's just a mental hurdle. And there are many reasons for my content not performing well. For one, I'm just small, so I just don't have a lot of reach. Generally, the content I make isn't very high effort. Not high effort. Well, that's true too. But it's not really high quality. You know, there's no editing, there's no overlays, there's no professional, like, graphics, there's no professional editing. You know, what editing I do is largely just cutting shit together. I don't do, like, custom captions, say, like Soviet Womble does, where a lot of his great video quality comes from the fact that he animates all of his subtitles and captions. And they look fucking great, on top of him just being funny in general. Or, like, say, the Russian Badger, where, you know, a lot of his videos are really good because of the sheer amount of work he puts into them with their animation. And obviously those are two very high-quality content creators with lots more experience, but, you know, I don't have any particular things going for me. And that's just something I should probably accept myself. But it's hard. Just, I'm not that entertaining. I'm well aware I'm not that entertaining. Hey, buddy. Please step on a mine. Did he seriously jump on the turret? Oh, no. Oh, he had spawned. I didn't even notice. Someone just stepped on a mine. I don't have anything that stands out about myself. And I'm very confident that if I never really made PlanetSide review content, I just wouldn't have viewership. In general, if I don't make PlanetSide review content, I don't have viewership. That's the only reason my channel even has popularity. Cool, screen shake. Fuck, what was I gonna say? Hello. Lost to a hipfire duel against an A50. A50 running comp and extended, or heavy mag to boot. Rough. I died. I just died. Wow, okay. I should have died. That was bad gameplay on my part. No, I'm not funny, though. I'm not funny. I'm not particularly interesting. Even the highlights videos that I've done, I would argue the best parts of those videos come from my friends. Whether it's Dark or Craig in the case of Mario Drama, I would argue all the best moments of those come from my friends. I'm just not an interesting person. And for those that do care about it, there is more PlanetSide review content coming. Because, well, one, it's really the only thing I know I make that, you know, people like watching. And they never support that theory. But it's slow now. I've mentioned this before, but when I started making content, I had a backlog of about 40 Araxiums. And, you know, that's a lot of stuff. Where I could just make stuff day in, day out because I had a huge backlog. And that was actually a rather foolish maneuver, thinking about it now, because I ran myself out of content. Because now I can't make something unless, say, an update comes out, like when I made the Legacy Directive and Helios videos, where I made them because, you know, I was the first person to make a Helios video, to my knowledge. That's the only reason why that video did so well. Because I just happened to be the first one to do it. Or like the Legacy Directive, like that was something that's just easy to make a video on. But like standard bog weapon, Araxiums, and weapon reviews, I don't like reviewing something until I've had sufficient time to really get a feel for it. Which is usually just Araxium. I've made some videos earlier when, you know, it's just like there's nothing more in this gun that I can care for. But as a general of thumb, I don't review stuff until I get the Arax on it. And given that, you know, if I'm really actively playing the game and going for an Araxium, it takes me about a week. Obviously, plus or minus depending on how much I play, how good the fights are, etc. But I would say on average, if I'm playing, usually every night, it usually takes me about a week to knock an Arax out. Given that most of my Araxes are in the 12 to 15 hour range nowadays. So, that's a far cry from being able to put a video out on a new gun every day. It means there's an absolutely fucking colossal content backlog now where, you know, there's a bunch of stuff that I've just made reviews on that, you know, is just going to stand the test of time, because most weapons in this game are not going to get updated, and I will never have to consider looking at them again. But, you know, that means new stuff is going to take a while, and it should be pretty obvious at this point, but I only play NSO. Who, you know, traditionally are pretty shit. And nobody really plays because they're pretty shit. I wonder Gen 9 or Terran Gen X might be a bit better. Don't know why I said Gen 9. So, you know, I like making PlanetSide content, don't get me wrong, I really do. It's just slow now. And I worry that because of that, you know, people are just going to lose interest. And that's completely natural. And this is slightly off topic, but it's still relevant enough. And I'm just going to say it anyway, because it's my video. I'm just letting my mouth run. But it feels like people are watching me. How am I gonna phrase this? It doesn't feel like people are watching me for me, but rather the topic, if that makes sense. That's to be expected, obviously, with, you know, just making weapon reviews. But, and this is obviously also just my perspective. I could very well be wrong. As should be pretty clear, I have a few mental illnesses, namely depression and anxiety, both formally diagnosed, as well as probably being on the spectrum. but it feels like people just watch me for, like, the topic, because I'm the only option. You know, like, I'm the only one who's made, say, a review on the fucking Schrodinger or whatever. I know there's another guy, but you get my point. Like, you know, there's some, like, say, weapons where I'm just the only one who's put content out, or recent content out at that. And people are just watching because, you know, they want to watch a review of that weapon, not because they actually care about what I'm making. And of course, that's normal, that's just the way YouTube is. But it still kind of sucks. And, you know, when PlanetSide is the only game that I find easy motivation to making content for, because it's Araxium weapon, talk about the weapon, is it good, is it shit? Should you Araxium it? That's very easy stuff to make. I know it'll do well, and it's simple. It feels good to make. Whereas some of the other stuff, like, say, the highlights videos, those are very easy to make. You know, record for an hour or two, cut down what I think is entertaining, upload, choom. But more detailed videos, like, the War Thunder review, or, say, the potential Terraria video I talked about earlier, that's still probably just going to stay in content hell. It's a lot harder to justify making them because they take a lot more time to go into, and the turnout would just not be there. Or is not there in the case of, say, the War Thunder video. So it's just mentally hard. Hi there, Vanguard. Can I help you? So, it's hard for me to justify making stuff that, you know, I know people just won't be interested in. It's just mentally hard to do so. I'm sure I've repeated myself a billion times by now. I'm just talking. Sue me. I can probably snake the point here. Depends on if the Vanguard feels like I'm having too much fun or not. And he does. Cool. I don't even know how you get a Vanguard in there, but you know what? Fair enough. Like, there's a lot of other games I play. There's a lot of other games I play that I could probably make content on if I really wanted. Whether it goes back to making more, say, Call of Duty stuff, or making stuff on some of the racing games I play. Fucking Siege, I could probably do some Siege stuff. But it just comes back to why. Because as I said, I don't feel like people are watching me for me, they're watching me for I'm the only option. Nothing wrong with that, as I keep saying, but it's mentally difficult. Couple that with the fact that I'm usually just not very good at games. Or, you know, if I'm playing alone, I don't generally have a lot to say. Or I'm not that entertaining. Fuck you. And it just becomes... Ow. What the fuck are you doing up there? Yeah, or like I just don't know what to make. Where I just wouldn't know what to make. Say if I wanted to make a Siege video, I wouldn't know what to make a Siege video on. My friends, while they're funny, can be a little yikes from time to time, where it would just be hard to leave some stuff in. Is there not a hard spawn at Verdian? Oh, there it is. Why is it labeled Command Center? Weird. It's probably a bug. Like, Siege, I wouldn't know what to make a video on. I like Siege. I enjoy playing Siege a lot. I may be shit at it, but I do enjoy Siege, but I wouldn't know what to make on it. I don't feel like I'd be a good authority to talk about, like, reviewing, say, weapons or operators, because I don't have the skill that I would deem as needed for that. Even on PlanetSide, I feel like I'm pretty mediocre, but decent enough to have an opinion. And then, like, continuing to use Siege as an example, like, doing highlights would either just not be interesting because it would just be me. And as we've gone over many times before, I'm not that interesting. Or, like, with my friends, it's like a lot of the stuff they say can be kind of yikes. Or I just wouldn't be able to make work in a video. Have some lights. Cool. So, you know, God, this video's kind of become just a cacophony of whatever. I was just intending to just play, and I wasn't sure how long it was going to be. I was just going to play and talk about whatever came up, but it just turned into this big dumb rant. Sorry about that. I'm not going to cut this down. I probably won't record for too much longer. I don't know. There's really nothing on my mind. That was kind of the only thing I really wanted to talk about. Was like, I guess I'm sorry, in a sense, that I'm not able to be better. Someone just stepped on a line. That's convenient. That or recursion was lagging and it's just updated. Have a mine. Have a mine. Yeah, so I guess I'm just kind of sorry that I'm not better, more interesting, more willing to sink a lot of time into stuff, more willing to make content in general. I have a job now that's eating in a lot more hours too, which means, you know, content's only going to slow down in that regard as well. Then I have college again next term. So, it's like, what do I do? Because I don't want to just be hard-locked to PlanetSide, you know? As much as I like the game, as much as they're making reviews, I don't want PlanetSide to be the only thing I can do. But, like, I'm not interesting enough to make anything else, or I just straight up don't have any ideas for anything else I could make. So, I don't know. I'm sorry, I guess? Fuck, I don't know what I'm going to title this thing. I can show you my thumbnail process if you want, Lamau. It's pretty simple. Control F10, Control F11, take a screenshot. Put that in Paint.net later, and we're good to go, because Cinder actually showed me how to make thumbnails. God bless his soul. So yeah, wow, these fights are garbage. It's almost like Osher is a really shit content, huh? Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. I really don't think I have anything else to say. Let's read or play. So I don't people are just gonna watch Assault Fights again. I don't even know what I'm gonna fucking title this thing. But yeah, I mean, if you have any suggestions or like feedback or anything, that'd be awesome. Obviously, if not, that's totally fine. It's just like, I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to do. Damn, I kind of feel like shit now. Huh. Anyway, yeah, thanks all if you're still here to the end. And, see you whenever I get the Tanto vaccine, I guess. Because then I can talk about the NSO carbines. And that is going to be a very negative video. Especially depending on how I feel about the Newton once that's unlocked. Oh boy. So, yeah. Thanks all. I will see you another time.